It was just last year when Redmi unveiled the Redmi Note 13 series. Now here we are in 2025 and they just launched the new Redmi Note 14 series. You might have seen our video for the Redmi Note 14 Pro 5G a few days before, but if you haven't, you can check it out here. Hi guys, it's CJ from Yugatech, and as the title suggests, we're checking out the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G. So how is it compared to its predecessor? Is there anything new? We're gonna find out. Let's get started. While the Note 13 Pro Plus was a fingerprint magnet around the top half of the phone, the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus fixes that. It has an aluminium composite frame while having Corning Gorilla Glass 7i at the rear. Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 protects the front. The most evident change you get to see right off the bat is the camera island. Instead of having the usual sensors on the top left, they're now situated in the middle, having a square camera island. You can spot the usual Redmi logo and watermarks at the bottom. We've got the midnight black colorway as our review unit, but there are also lavender purple and frost blue options too. The device has the same IP68 dust and water resistant certification that the 13 Pro Plus came with. It's very thin, which I appreciate a lot since I tend to keep my phone in my pockets. For I/O, you've got the volume rocker and power buttons on the right side, USB Type-C charging port, a dual SIM card tray, one of the dual speakers at the bottom, while the top side has the other speaker. There's an IR blaster up top that you can use as a remote control for your home appliances. The Note 14 Pro Plus features a 6.67-inch 1.5K curved AMOLED panel and has up to 120Hz refresh rate. You get a peak brightness of a whopping 3000 nits, so you don't have to worry about using the phone when the sun is out and shining. With its curved display, the bezels are so thin you wouldn't even notice it while you scroll through the internet, and most especially when watching videos. It gave me an immersive feel with color reproduction being vibrant and accurate. The Note 14 Pro Plus also has TUV Rainland certification, which means it's flicker-free certified. As for sound, you've got dual speakers and they're pretty loud. I never felt the need to increase the volume all the way to the top, but I was told that the audio was loud enough that it can be heard in another room here in HQ. Mix those all together and you've got yourself a treat for viewing different forms of content, from watching Netflix, listening to your favorite playlist, to mobile gaming. For biometrics, you get an in-display fingerprint scanner and facial recognition on lock. It can identify your face and fingerprint just as quickly as it spots you. Moving on to cameras, the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus still comes with the same megapixels, a 200-megapixel main, 8-megapixel ultra-wide, and 2-megapixel macro sensor. The fourth slot on the camera island is taken by the LED flash. For the selfie cam, however, it now has a 20-megapixel sensor. This is an upgrade to the Note 13 Pro Plus's 16-megapixel shooter. Like its predecessor, the Note 14 Pro Plus can lock on and focus on subjects just as quickly. It shines especially in well-lit environments. Although post-production in night shots make the photos appear brighter, they can come out a bit too saturated for my liking. There are also moments where the device can't focus well in night shots. Nonetheless, for the most part, if you want to capture scenery, food, details, and the like on bright and sunny days, this phone can capture what you shoot and hold its ground pretty well. Just make sure you don't overuse that zoom too much. Details tend to lose its quality with grain being a bit more evident. For video capacity, it's able to shoot in 4K at 30 frames per second for the rear cameras, while the front can record up to 1080p at 60 frames per second. But hey, you can be the judge of it though. Here are our sample shots.
Hi, this is the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G, shooting at 1080p at 60 frames per second. So this is what it looks like, the front camera. You can see how smooth. So this is what the main camera looks like. This is what it looks like in full capacity of its video with just 4K at 30 frames. You can also shoot at 24 frames per second in 4K. But yeah. What do you guys think?
Powering the device is a Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 processor while having an Adreno 710 GPU. This chipset was announced back in August 2024. It uses a 4nm process technology, clocked at 2.5 GHz. Our config comes with 12GB of LPDDR4X RAM and 512GB of UFS 2.2 storage. If you feel the need that your phone needs more RAM for some reason, there's up to 12GB of memory extension available for you to enable, giving you a total of 24 GB. I've played Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero on this, and it's able to run both games on high customized settings. For Zenless Zone Zero, this means having every setting like rendering and shadows on high with 60 frames per second. At first, there are some tiny stutters, but they're not distracting enough to make you lose your combos. Proxies can be sure that they can go through new Eridu and have a mostly smooth experience. Meanwhile, for Wuthering Waves, although it can handle every setting on high, I've experienced micro stutters here and there during combat. While it doesn't hurt the timing to parry or dodge enemy attacks, it does become noticeable the more you explore worlds like Renacita. If that bothers you, the best play here is to reduce the setting to medium instead. The phone does heat up after playing the aforementioned games for about 30 minutes. It's not too hot to the touch though. Our synthetic benchmark score should appear right now. The Note 14 Pro Plus runs on Xiaomi's HyperOS based on Android 14. But, like other Xiaomi devices, this phone has a lot of bloatware. They can be uninstalled, but remember that when you boot up the Note 14 Pro Plus for the first time. It comes with the same nifty features like its predecessor has, like a heart rate monitor, second screen, and floating windows, quick ball, one-handed mode, and the ability to ignore accidental touches on the edges are also available. One new feature is AI subtitles. It's able to generate subtitles from audio and give you translations in real time, and create smart summaries. It does need the internet to work normally though. The Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus runs on a slightly bigger 5110 mAh battery compared to the 13 Pro Plus's 5000 mAh battery. It does come with the same 120-watt hypercharge support though. You can expect the same quick charge time as it charges the unit from 20% to 100% in less than 30 minutes. I've played games, took photos, and watched videos on this device, and it was able to last from morning up until early evening. For connectivity, it's got dual nano SIM, an IR blaster for using as a remote, and supports like Bluetooth 5.4, 5G, Wi-Fi 6, GPS, and NFC. Our video loop test, which runs a 1080p video at 50% brightness with zero volume and an AirPlay mode, garnered a total of 18 hours and 20 minutes. Meanwhile, the PC Mark battery test took a total of 12 hours and 41 minutes. As of making this video, we don't have the official SRP of the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus. But if we're basing it on last year's Note series, it can have an SRP of 20,000 pesos. All in all, grabbing the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus is a viable choice this 2025. You can't go wrong with having the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus as your new daily driver, especially if you want to game on the go and capture the moments before you. But hey, what do you guys think of the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus? Are you considering grabbing this phone? Let us know in the comments. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss out on any of our latest videos. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok, and visit yugatech.com to stay updated with the latest tech news and reviews. Again, this has been CJ, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! See you later!